Welcome to Based in Heroes. We are going to subtract mixed numbers. So, we are going to go with one single example in many different forms. Now, it says 4.5 minus 6 quarters. We have a mixed number and an improper fraction. We can play with them to solve it in different forms. So it says, we know 4.5 can be converted into an improper fraction. How do we? We take the whole number, we multiply by the denominator, and then add the numerator. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. The denominator is always the same, keep it in mind. So we have 9 halves minus 6 quarters. And now it is much more convenient because we are working just with improper fractions. Then, what is next step? You're right, we want to have common denominators. This time it is pretty simple. As we can tell, 2 is a factor of 4, so we just have to multiply by 2 and we will convert it into 4. So this is 18 quarters. 18 quarters is equivalent to 9 halves. So minus 6 quarters. Everything is quarters, so 18 minus 6 is 12. And 12 divided by 4 is 3. You got it? Now that is one way. If you want it even simpler, then you go ahead. Once again, we have 9 halves. And 9 halves, we want this time to have common denominator 2. So what we are going to do is we are going to simplify the second fraction. And it is going to say 6 quarters is equivalent to 3 halves. 3 halves then is, what is this? 3 halves is then 9 minus 3. Yeah, we get it here, halves and halves. And then we say 9 minus 3 over 2, the common denominator. So it is 6 halves. 6 halves, 6 divided by 2, is how much? You got it again. It is 3. Exactly the same answer we had before. Of course, we don't want to have a different answer. Then, that's it. Very short. However, there are some other forms. So we are going to keep on going. It says, this time we want to convert the 6 quarters into a mixed number. This mixed number means we have to divide. 6 divided by 4. 4 in 6 fits one time. Times 4 is 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. So we already have it. The whole number is the quotient is the whole number. The remainder is the numerator. And the denominator is always the same. So we have 1 unit and 2 quarters. All right. Now we are going to work with that. It says this is a mixed number and this is a mixed number. So what are we going to do with that? We are going to go with wholes and fraction part. So we add them up because at the end everything is together. You could say this is an addition, right? And this is also an addition, so well, that's it. Now there's no big deal with this, so we have to work on the fraction part. Now we do have different denominators and we don't want to have unlike fractions. We want them to be like fractions. So we are going to convert 2 quarters into 1 half. We do it by dividing by 1. Remember, a number over itself is 1. It means we are finding an equivalent fraction. We are not changing the meaning of it. So it says 4 minus 1 plus 1 half minus 1 half. Check this out. 1 half minus 1 half because 2 quarters is equivalent to 1 half. Yep. So it says, you can tell that one number minus itself is 0. 4 minus 1 plus 0, which is 3. Once again, up. So there are various forms, and the one you feel more comfortable with is going to be the convenient one, the one that you want to use. Now you pick, you select it. The most important is that you understand what it means. And so we are going to work with these graphs to make it even deeper. So it says we have here how many halves? These are halves, right? 2 halves are equivalent to a unit. And this purple rectangle here is our unit. And then we have 2 halves. 2 halves. So 2 halves mean 1 unit. 2 divided by 2 is 1, right? So over here we have 4 quarters. 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters. 4 quarters. 4 quarters. 4 divided by 4 mean 1. So it says this is our unit. Keeping this in mind, we are going to go on and we are going to say, hey, look at this. There is 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 4 units and a half. 4 and a half, which is the number we originally have. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 what? 6 quarters. Now we want to keep in mind 6 quarters can be simplified. And it will be converted into 3 halves. How come 3 halves? We can convert it into 1 half, 2 halves, and 3 halves, right? So it means we are working with the same denominator, with the common denominator. Look at it. Now 2 is our common denominator, which is the objective, the goal we have when working with fractions, when adding or subtracting fractions. So it says 9 minus 3. We don't have anything else to do but to subtract the numerator. So it says 9 minus 3 is 6. Now, where is that 6? Well, look at it. It says I am going to eliminate one of the halves, another one, and another one. And I place quarters over them because originally it says 6 quarters. How many quarters are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 quarters, which is once again equivalent to 3 halves. Now, if I eliminate those 3 halves, and I say eliminate because this is a subtraction, then I say I had 9 halves, and I ate 3 of those halves. So what? What is it that remains? So this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. 3 what? 3 units, 3 complete units, which are here. 1, 2, and 3 units, which are equivalent to 6 halves, right? So much better. I am absolutely sure you understand it much better. So we just want to go with another form. There are even more. So that's why at the beginning I said many forms. So it says the same operation. This time we want to separate this with the symbol, just to operate with another way, which is going to be included in the rational numbers. So it says we want to find the equivalent fraction of 6 quarters, but with the 2 in the denominator, so we have common denominators, you can tell. Now once again we have common denominators, and it says 1 minus 3. 1 minus 3. Now we only have to operate the numerators. And so it says 1 minus 3. Well, 1 minus 3 is -2. You have $1 and you have to pay 3. Well, you pay the $1 you have, but you still owe $2. You still have to pay them. So you're in red, It says, then, look at this. We have to remember that this is the result, yeah, negative 2, and it is over 2 because it is over the denominator. But now we have to keep in mind that one number over itself is 1, yeah, whatever the number. So what about this one? Because this is negative, yeah, so negative over positive is negative. Now we can say the opposite of positive is negative. And you don't need the positive here, yeah, the positive sign there, because we know it is included. Yep. And so we can tell that negative times positive is negative. Positive times negative is negative. And if we want, we can place it in a parenthesis and say that this is the whole fraction is negative, so the result will be negative, and it is negative 1. Yep. So it means we are adding a negative 1. 4 plus negative 1. And you can tell that we need to say the opposite of positive. What is the opposite of positive? Definitely, it is negative. Some people like it better to say positive times negative is negative. And either way, it is absolutely right. And how much is 4 minus 1? Once again, we got there, it is 3. Oh my, we still have more? Well, this is the one your teachers don't want you to use. And it is not because it is a secret, top secret thing, but it is because they don't want you to confuse. They want you to use the fractions very properly. And when you get to use them with decimals, changing them into decimals, well, you might believe that it is easier. And sometimes it might be easier, but you get used to it and you might not work with fractions properly. And sometimes it is just more accurate to work with fractions than with decimals. Trust me, mostly when you have these numbers, let's say 1/3, in which you're going to have 0.333333, an infinity amount of 3's, and so you are going to work with approximations. And you don't want to work with approximations, you just want to have a something which is absolutely accurate. Then we just keep on going, and it says over here, well, I'm keeping on going and I haven't explained here. So it says 4.5 minus 1.5. This is 1.5. How did it happen? 6 divided by 4, what we did before, is 1 unit and 2 quarters. And 2 quarters can be simplified as 1/2 because I divided by 1. Remember, this is a unit. Then I am going to say 1.5. Now 1 and 2 quarters is equivalent to 1.5. So all this means that I can rewrite these mixed numbers, keeping in mind that 1/2 represents 0.5, and so I am going to say 4.5 minus 1.5. And it means what? Well, I just have to align the decimal point, and it is going to be how much? Definitely the surprising 3 we had from the very beginning. So kids, I know you have understood, I know you have learned a lot, so keep on working hard, and that's it.